Welcome to St Bees in Cumbria. I'm finally here to do the coast to coast walk. So I arrived here yesterday about 2 p.m. and it was glorious sunshine, the complete opposite to today. And I used yesterday just to just sort of settle in, really, get my tent up, just relax, and that's about it really. It took me about 6 hours to get here. Now before I go and do it, there are a couple of things that Alfred Wainwright encouraged all future sea-to-seers to do, and that is to dip your feet in the Irish Sea, and the other thing is to get a stone off of the beach here at St Bees and to take it all the way across England to Robin Hood's Bay, which is where I'm heading, and to put that into the North Sea. Okay, so I've got my stones, one for Dad, one for Amanda. So it's goodbye, St Bees. It was nice, even if it was a little bit brief. And onwards, up on the cliffs now and heading over to St Bees Head. Those of you that don't know the coast to coast, it starts off by kind of going in the opposite direction. So Wainwright planned it that you walk up the coast along the Irish Sea for a few miles and then you turn inland. And then the aim today is to get to Ennerdale Water, which is just over 19 miles from here, and I've got a campsite booked there. So that'll be nice, knowing I don't have to wild camp and I have got somewhere to pitch. Okay, quick update everyone. We're about 3.5 miles in. So I have got about 187 miles to go. Yeah, be all right. Do get in the comments and let me know if you've walked up to Dent before and if you found it as arduous as I have. On the map it doesn't look too bad, but it's one of those really gradual, slow, grinding climbs. Yeah. That was so nice. So I had in that cafe a lovely black coffee, a slice of cake, a Snickers bar, fruit, crisps. That's just what I can remember. I feel like a new man. We've just left Ennerdale Bridge and just following the route now round to Ennerdale Water, and then my campsite, which is called the Lower Gillerthwaite Field Centre, if I've got that right, is I don't know, half a mile beyond Ennerdale Water. It's pretty dicey walking up the edge of Ennerdale Water here, really rocky, and we've got rain and squally wind coming in, which means the rocks are pretty slippery, so I'm having to be really careful. So you're joking. You are joking me. I think it's this way. I think it's what the map's saying. I seem to remember from the videos there was a really narrow kind of crevice. This feels better than the other place. It's just that the rocks are so slippery. Okay. Right, that's more like it. Well, this is turning into a bit of a Ennerdale water adventure. Wow. I mean, I knew it was going to be a bit rocky, but it's been a bit challenging, and I think when that weather system just suddenly came in, and it just seems to do that, just suddenly the weather changes here and then it just disappears. It's really bizarre. Well, bizarre for me as a southerner who's never been in the Lake District before. Just making my way around to the final, well, the end of, you might be able to see it over there. Okay, that's the pathway. Hello all, time check, it's about 8 o'clock I think, nearly 8:30, can't believe it. It's been a really long first day, and it's been pretty grueling. I'm going to just say it's been a grueling first day. It started off all kind of sort of pretty on the Cumbrian coast. Nice weather-ish, not too challenging on the footpaths, I suppose. And then I mean, we've had variety today. We've had a lot of variety, which has been really good. And we've had some amazing, like, walking through woods and valleys and hills and everything. And then Ennerdale Water is so picturesque. I absolutely love it. However, I've discovered from the campsite owner that I went on the dangerous side of Ennerdale Water, and I encountered some really challenging rocky paths, much more than I thought there would be, and there were some bits I had to clamber up, and it was wet and the weather changed so quickly, and now we've got this rain that wasn't really forecast. There was a low percentage chance of rain, but it's just suddenly the heavens have opened and it's been absolutely torrential. And when I arrived here at the campsite, everything was just soaked. Everything. Got my dry bags and my pack liner thing. So everything that needs to be dry, sleeping bag, my sort of tent clothes are all bone dry. So I got those on straight away because I was actually getting quite cold. Before I forget, I must give a shout out to Cole from Outdoor Gear Essentials. Cole has very kindly supported this coast to coast adventure by donating some meals for me to enjoy. So thank you very much, Cole. I've got several of these real termite meals. They've got 4 days worth. So I can't wait to try them out. They're meant to be very good, I hear. There are 2 different types. There's the orange type of real termite meals, which I learnt are the civilian ones, and these ones are the army ration versions. And this one is pasta bolognese. I don't know if you can see that. Pasta bolognese. I've got some other exciting ones to tuck into in the next few days. Just been having a look at the map for tomorrow. Shorter day, should be about 11 miles. Heading over to Rothswaite from here at Ennerdale Water, and looks okay, I think, but we'll see. Depends on weather. Rain is due later tomorrow, so it'd be great if I can get as much of it done when the rain is not here, but we will see. I'm absolutely knackered, so I'm gonna call it there. and I'm going to say good night. Morning all, and welcome to day 2 of the coast to coast walk. And it has not stopped raining all night long. I think when it does stop, it leads you into a full sense of security. Stops for about 30 seconds and then just comes lashing down again, and this tent has been absolutely battered throughout the night and still is. It's held well though. It's held really strong. I've been really impressed with this tent. It's been really good. So the plan is to head to Rothswaite today. I'm going to get everything packed up. I've got behind me here stuff that's been drying on my little makeshift washing line overnight. Quite a good idea this. It's not dry, but it's much less damp than it was yesterday. So when I put it back on, hopefully it won't be too much of a tortuous experience. Just a little bit of an injury update. I've had to put some KT tape here on my right ankle. It turned a couple of times yesterday, so just decided to put some of this tape on it just to give it a bit of support today and just to kind of keep an eye on that. It's grim, really grim. Weather forecast seems to be indicating that there was a low chance of rain, but yeah, I've had to put wet clothes on, but I thought it's better to keep the dry clothes dry for later, and it seemed like the best plan of action really. Worst thing is putting wet socks on. Anyway, we're on our way and we're packed up and all is good. It's raining, but hey, it'll be okay. We're heading out of Ennerdale Water area and walking in sort of a straightish line on the low route up through into Ennerdale Forest. Hopefully going to get a glimpse of Black Sail Youth Hostel Hut, the most remote youth hostel in Britain. And then after that it's heading on down to the Honister Slate Mine area. That's the River Lisa down there, and you just get an idea of the amount of rain that we've had overnight. There's definitely not a water shortage around here. So that's Black Sail Youth Hostel, and that's what's in my way from all the rain last night. Thanks, mate.
Nou, misschien nog niet. Het is niet zo smakelijk in het toilet.
Oh, so I had a nice cup of warm tea at the Black Sail Youth Hostel. Weather's still pretty atrocious. I was in two minds about staying at the hostel. Some people were staying, some people were pushing on. I've seen a few other hikers near me, so that's quite nice from a peace of mind point of view. I'm not all alone. There's a couple of people just coming up now. I'm going to wait for them. Right, we've got another dodgy cascade to get across. just heading down into Honister now after a pretty brutal 1.5 to 2 miles from Blacksail Hut. Weather closed in. Wasn't quite sure whether I was going to make it or not, but then I met 2 lovely Dutch hikers and we kind of stuck together and helped each other over the tricky bits and had a chat. It's been really nice. I think there might be a cafe down here. It could be a coffee. The thing I like about this walk is that there's always a new challenge around the corner, something that takes you by surprise. Okay, I just want to introduce, and excuse me for my Dutch pronunciation, just whilst I drop my trekking poles, but I've met Anna-Marie and Petra, there they are today, and they've been really wonderful hiking companions. And they even bought me lunch, which was very, very kind of them. So thank you so much. Thanks for letting me hike with you.
Thank you for hiking with us, Ben. We enjoyed it.
And if I just show you, they're going there. It's like a palace. Look, it's the YHA. And I'm going off to a campsite. Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me over the rain. Just a quick check-in. I'll try not to drag it out, but just a quick check-in. Today it's been a really adventurous day, day 2. It's about 6ish now, 6:30, something like that. Yeah, it's challenged me a lot today, but there's been quite a lot of excitement within it as well. I've done things and I've tackled things and I've gone over terrain that I wouldn't normally get to do, so that's been really, really great. So that's the positive. The rain has, well, I've tried to turn the rain into a positive, but it is still a bit of a negative. It's rained continuously since 4 p.m. yesterday, day 1, which was Sunday. It's Monday today, and it has literally rained all night last night, evening, and all through the night and all through the day today, and I've been out in it the entire time. Apart from sleeping, of course. So that has been challenging. I've met some other hikers who are going through the same thing, so that's quite nice, I suppose. And we were just talking. We were all just standing around, soaked to the skin, having to wade through quite tricky streams and tributaries running down mountains. And we've just been getting on with it, really, just accepting it. And I think one thing I discovered today is it doesn't matter how wet you are, if you're just moving and hiking, then you stay warm. You just start getting cold when you stop, like when I arrived at this campsite. So yes, of course, sod's law. I arrived at the campsite, rain ramped up to another level. My guy lines were all knotted up because I had to pack away quite quickly this morning because of the rain, so I had to undo all the guy lines, and that took forever and I got more wet. But anyway, I'm in now, which is good. I'm in now, and it's just so nice to stop. It is so nice to stop. Now I have got in that direction, I'll just show you in a second, a pile of wet clothes, because the longer this goes on, the wetter my stuff gets. And I am drying things, as you can sort of see up here. I am drying things on my little makeshift washing line, and that is having some effect. It's not drying things completely, but it's making things less damp when I have to put them on again the next morning. But it's just little things, like I had to use my microfiber towel that I'm meant to be using for sort of campsite showers, and I had to use that to mop up wet in the tent as I was putting it up. It's just stuff like annoying stuff like that, so I can't really use the showers here, which is a bit frustrating. But I'm going to crash out, and then I'm going to have another one of my outdoor gear essentials meals, because I'm pretty hungry. I've just tried to charge my iPhone, and I got that little message saying you've got water in the connector point. It may take several hours for it to dry. So that's a bit frustrating really, and a bit of a concern. So I'm hoping that it does dry out and I can charge it, because that could be a bit of a problem. Everything else is charging okay, so I can still make videos, but I just can't communicate. Well, actually I can't communicate anyway because there's no signal here, but I'm using the Far Out app on the phone and the GPS to navigate on. Yeah. Anyway, lovely Cole has come to save the day because he has provided lamb with rice and lentils this evening for my real termat dinner. So I'm going to try and get everything, tuck into that, enjoy that, and hit the sack. I'm going to call it there. Night night. It's day 3 of the Coast to Coast. I can't believe it. It's the first time since I started this journey. Day 3, I've actually seen the sunshine, and it's really picking out just the landscape, the fells, the hills, just the trees. It's just lovely, really lovely. So, bit of a morale booster. I was feeling pretty low last night, to be honest. I was getting really, really fed up with the weather. I was just looking at all my wet gear and not being able to dry it. And then, of course, the phone packed up. Phone's still packed up. I mean, it switches on, but I can't charge it. So I'm going old school. Got my paper map, and I'm going to just scrutinise this like anything, and hopefully it's going to get me over to Patterdale today, which I think is about 13 miles away, something like that. These are possibly some of the best views I've ever seen, ever. Oh, it seems strange to think I was all the way over there a while ago. Walked all of that, climbed up all of that. I think for the first time today I'm heading downhill, which is a relief in one way, but it's also, as I've discovered in the last few days, quite hazardous. Potentially very slippery with all the extra water that's about, and then because I've got this pack on my back, it also propels me forward if I do slip. So you have to be really careful when you're doing this sort of thing solo, I'm discovering. Had to show you yet another beautiful view. Oh yeah. So that in the distance is Grasmere, and I am considering possibly stopping there. It has been a tough old day, a tough day. I've only done 4 miles, and I've done no more than a mile an hour, and that's at best. It's probably a half a mile to a mile an hour. Just basically getting over this terrain. It has been something else. It really has. It's been beautiful, but it's been something else. And the good news is that my phone, if you can hear me, has started charging again. So all that water, potential water damage, looks like it's all dried up from the rain, and it started charging. I didn't think I could get so excited about something like this. It's about 3 o'clock now. My knee is not doing too well. It's starting to hurt a bit. So not far. I think we've got a mile and a half until we get to Grasmere. I think it's possible I've accidentally ended up on the high route. Yeah, I'm not going to go to Patterdale today. I'll be wrecked. I'm going to just push on to Grasmere and see. I'm just going to push on to Grasmere, and then I'm going to find somewhere that can give me a room where I can just sort everything out. Oh. Oh. Don't try this at home, folks. Making YouTube videos whilst hiking in the Lake District, bad idea. So I'm in Grasmere and I'm in a B&B. I just made the decision just to stop in Grasmere. I don't know what I was thinking when I was sitting in London planning this and thinking I could walk to Patterdale. It's been a really beautiful but brutal day. I mean, the scenery's just been beyond spectacular, but it has really put me through my paces. I'd say it's one of the hardest days of hiking I've ever had to do. And there's probably more to come that are going to beat this, but yeah, I need to check this, but as far as I know, it is 7 miles from where I was this morning, which was Stonethwaite near Rosthwaite, to here, Grasmere. I will check that and confirm on the screen, but 7 miles, and due to going up and down all the elevation, the mountains, just constant rocky trails. Yeah, it's taken me about 8 hours to do 7 miles. I mean, crazy. But it feels like the right thing to do. And also I had a couple of falls today and my knee pulled a little bit. So, but I was only noticing that when I was descending, I was coming down from Helm Crag. Walking up the road here to Grasmere was not bad, actually. And actually, I really enjoy just walking on road. Normally I hate walking on road. I've got full English breakfast booked for the morning, all included in the price, and they've recommended a sort of place I can go and get some food in town. I might come back to you later. I might, but if not, that's the end of day 3. Goodbye, good night. Well, good morning, world. Day 4 of the Coast to Coast, and feeling refreshed after my lovely guest house visit last night. It was just brilliant. Slept like a log. Nice hot shower. Did loads of hand washing and got everything dried on the radiators. Meal in town. Nice big fat burger. And this morning had a full English breakfast and a couple of cups of coffee. So I am leaving town quite late, but the trade-off is I feel a bit more charged up. And talking of charging, I got all my gadgets charged up as well. So I'm feeling good, morale is high. It is raining, but hey, used to it now. So we're heading up to Grisdale Tarn, and from there we're going to head down to Patterdale. And I've decided I'm going to just 90% certain that I'm going to stop in Patterdale. I have, whilst I had signal this morning, emailed a campsite and just booked myself in. So I'm going to probably do another short distance day, although yesterday was a short distance day and it was the hardest hike I've ever done in my life. So I'm kind of ignoring distance at the moment and just really sort of focusing on the bigger picture of just continuing and moving forward. And I think that's the thing you have to do with these. You have to be quite flexible, you have to be quite adaptable, and you know, not beat yourself up, be kind, take a day off if necessary. Yeah, but anyway, feeling good at the moment, and onwards to Grise Tarn. About 2 miles out from Grasmere now, and a serious bit of elevation to kind of get the hiking blood flowing. I've just met some really nice hikers, so I don't know if you'll find my channel, you were asking about it, but Betsy and Wayne from Arizona, I hope you've had success with your hike if you're watching this. And there's a couple of, well, there's a Swiss guy and a German guy just behind me. I didn't catch your names, but it's been good hiking with you. I'm just trying to sort of take it easy. The guys I just mentioned, they're also going to Patterdale today. That seems to be where everyone is heading. It seems to be the sensible best next stop. And I've this morning I taped up around my knee. It still feels quite twingy, so I've got to be really careful that I don't have any more slips, because I don't really want to have injury upon injury. Okay, just walk over. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you. Grise Tarn. Whoa, that was a Wednesday morning workout. Whew. Oh yeah. So just a quick update, everyone. I am nearing Patterdale, but as you can probably tell, I am not alone. There are people lurking in the background. So I just want to introduce Michelle in the blue. There he is. He's from Switzerland. And Manfred, who is from Dortmund in Germany. I got that right, Dortmund?
Dortmund,
yeah.
Right.
And I've just really enjoyed walking with these guys for the last few miles. It's been good fun. We've had some good chats. We've got ourselves through some challenging weather conditions, I think. And they're heading off somewhere else today to get some accommodation. So we're parting company here, but as it hiking goes, we'll probably bump into each other again. No doubt. My legs are feeling really good and my feet are feeling really good. It's one of those sort of, I think, you do these hikes, you can give it a few days and you kind of get in the zone with it, and your muscle memory, I think they call it, don't they? But yeah, I'm feeling quite good, and it's coming up to about 3 o'clock, 2:45. I'm very near Patterdale, so quite enjoying having after yesterday, having a shorter one today. I'm really looking forward to setting up the tent early. Oh, I've got all my gear is reasonably dry and clean from the guest house last night. Well, good evening from Patterdale and Ullswater. It is so nice here. It's just idyllic, and it's currently not raining, so I'm gonna try and make this quick. Yeah, it's been a really good day. Settled into my tent. It's a bit of a family kind of campsite here, which is really nice to see. It's just really nice to see families getting out and enjoying this just spectacular part of the country. It was definitely the right decision to have a shorter day today. Not that I could have gone any further really, because the next stretch is up over Angletarn and onto Kidsty Pike, which I wouldn't have had time to do today at all. So as I learnt from yesterday, a day's hiking up here is very different to anywhere else. And you just got to know when to stop. But it's been really good. I'm feeling just really positive today. I'm feeling better physically. I had a really good walk with Michelle and Manfred, who I introduced to you earlier, and it's just that company that just makes a difference. And you don't necessarily have to be sort of chatting to each other, but you know, when you're going through the kind of tricky sections, just knowing you've got other people around sometimes is just a bit of peace of mind, if you know what I mean. The other thing to mention is, for the first time since I started the C2C, I have arrived dry at a campsite, and I mean, there's a little bit of rain in the air, but nowhere near what I've experienced this week, nowhere near. And also because I dried it all off, most of it at the guest house yesterday, which was fantastic. Good morning all. It's day 5 of the Coast to Coast, and I'm quite proud of myself because it's 7:30 in the morning and I'm packed up and I'm on the trail, and I'm glad I am because it's not going to be an easy one. I'm leaving Patterdale towards Angletarn. I've got to get over Kidsty Pike and down to Ullswater, and this is going to be the highest elevation that I will have ever done. Actually, I was going to say for the Coast to Coast, but actually I don't think I've hiked any higher before from memory. And I think from careful studying of the weather reports, the mountain weather forecast last night, it seems that if I am going to do it, I need to do it early. So I don't know if I'm going to get much filming done, but I'm setting out early, and I'm going to just try and be careful, but just get over there and get down to Ullswater. Right, let's go. Proper up in the clag now. I think I'm about halfway between Patterdale and Angletarn. Doing okay at the moment, just taking it easy, just taking it real slow. You won't be able to see it, but Angletarn is a moment ago just come into view. over in that direction behind all that clag. I got a glimpse of it for about 2 seconds and then the clag obscured it. But at least we're heading in the right direction. Nearly at Kidsty Pike, and I can't wait to get there. The clag has got a little bit worse. I can still see the pathway, but I'll just show you all around. It's proper clag out. Oh, and I'm soaked. Oh, I'm really soaked. And the wind is cold now, so I'm just trying to keep moving, keep warm. Just trying to find the summit. I'm on Kidsty Pike. Did it. That currently is my view. The highest point on the trail so far. The next challenge is going to be the descent, which I've been told is very hard, very hard. Right, here goes. Had enough of this now. Just really want to get down. Not only is it a challenging descent, everything's wet, so it's challenging, and I banged my head, but I didn't land on my head. If that I took it with my hands, and my hands are they're red, but they're not ripped up or anything. So, but it's when you hit hard rock, wet rock, yeah, it stings, doesn't it? And I'm going. Hello, sorry. Oh no, it's fine, just wait, it's fine. Carry on. I just had a fall. I just fell.
Oh yeah, you okay?
Yeah, I banged my head, but I'm okay.
Oh goodness.
I just fell just here.
It's a bad down this, isn't it?
You know, I've been hiking since 7:30 this morning, and I've just been conscious about just taking it real easy. Just I've been concentrating so hard, but it just shows how you can do all of that, but you can still slip. But I'm okay. I did bang my head, but not hard, and it was after I banged my hands. So that guy, there was a guy just behind me, and he just kind of checked in on me and checked I was okay. And yeah, oh, I can't wait to get down. Can't wait to get down. I made it over Kidsty Pike, and it wasn't easy, but I did it. Yeah, I seem to, I hit a bit of a low point at the end because I missed a turning and near Hall's Water, and the rain, and hit a bit of a low point. But I've had some lunch. I had a tuna pita bread thing, and I've put some dry clothes on, got my fleece on now, and it's still raining, but at least I'm out of the mountains and nearly out of the Lake District. It's been tough. Oh, it has been tough. And I think when I fell, I sprained a finger on this hand. I don't think it's broken because I can clearly move it, but it's feeling quite inflamed. So I'll keep an eye on it. I've taken some ibuprofen, and I'll just keep a bit of an eye on it, really. And I'm just walking along Haweswater now, and it's still raining. So we're back to everything being wet. I'm at a campsite tonight. Well, say campsite. I'm booked in at the Crown Inn pub in Shap, in their beer garden, and they have an area for campers. So yeah, hopefully, I've got a feeling there might be an option to get some stuff dried or even washed, which would be lovely. So that's about 10 miles to Shap from here, I believe. And according to my friend Russ, he said I can just cruise it. So I'm hoping you're correct, Russ. Welcome back, everyone. We are about 4 miles out of Shap at the moment. It has taken ages to get all the way through, all the way along the side of Haweswater. It's a huge body of water, absolutely massive. You can't even see the end of it at one point. Anyway, we've got to the end of it, and I say we because I've met two more nice hikers, Paul and Sue, who are just hiking in front of me just at the moment. There they are. And we've just been sharing our hiking tales, the positives and the negatives, and we are just very ready to stop today. So we're all looking forward to getting to our accommodation in Shap. There is a fish and chip shop apparently in Shap, and a village store. And I do need to resupply because even if it's just a couple of bits, because I'm nearly out of food. So before I set off tomorrow, I need to get some essentials. It's about 7 o'clock, and I'm all pitched up for the night, and I'm at the Crown Inn in Shap, and I'm in their garden. I arrived in their pub looking a little bit like a drenched rat, but they were incredibly welcoming to take as long as I need. I've got a little shower, toilet. They're going to let me dry all my things by the fire in the pub, which is very surprising but very generous. And they say I can charge up my stuff in the pub if I want to. Very laid back. Had some fish and chips earlier, which was very nice, at Shap Chippy. Had that before I did anything. And I've also found a co-op in the village here, and I started to get some supplies in as well, just a few snacks and meals and things. So I feel like I'm getting sorted, which is really good. I had to put the tent up again in the rain, and then rain got inside the tent, so I've just been drying the inside of the tent, getting rid of water. Seems to be the thing I'm always doing at the moment.
Took it off the van, and then I was just watching myself back.
Good morning, all. I slept really well last night here in the back garden of the Crown Inn in Shap. Yeah, so we're heading today. We're aiming today. No, we're going to do it. We're going to go to Kirby Stephen. It is a long way. It's about 20 miles, but then I have done 20-mile days quite a lot in the south before, and this is going to be very different to the Lake District. So it's going to be kind of rolling hills, undulating. I'm confident we can do it. I'm confident I can get there, and I've got a campsite lined up over there as well, which is good. My finger is still not great. I think it's because the ibuprofen's worn off. It's gone really tight. I can bend it just about, but it's really tight for the finger sprain that I think I mentioned yesterday. So I've just sent out a little video and a text to a member of the family who's a nurse, and if I can get to a pharmacy or even a doctor, I might just ask someone just to have a look at it for me, because it might need some kind of splint, finger splint, I think. I don't really want to have to do anything much more than that, but we'll have to see, won't we? All right, I'm going to just get everything packed up, get all my new food into my pack, get sorted, tidied, and on our way. So I've done a mini resupply, because it's getting quite low on food, and just gone with some things that I've used before that I find quite useful, just things that are available sort of readily from basic supermarkets, convenience stores. So I've got my couscous, because I brought my bowl with me. It means I can make that up quite easily. And couscous is basically pasta, so it's just quite a cheap, lightweight meal, and you can always add things to that as well. And so I've bought, the only thing that was available was some pepperoni, which says here protein kick, so I can put a bit of that into those, or I can just munch on those as snacks. And talking of protein, I've been munching my way through these, so I decided to get a few more. They're just quite good for having during the day. I have them in my chest pack, and then for lunches, because I've now run out of my tuna and pita breads, so I got a tube of squeezy cheese. Not ideal, but it's just easy, so I've got that easy squeezy, and couldn't get any pitas yesterday from the store, so just got some thin little breads, so I can just make up some quick sandwiches, to stop, have lunch if I can't get lunch anywhere else. And then over here I've got these Quaker to go porridge bar things. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. You just grab one and go in the morning. And then finally, little treat to myself, because I just like to sort of have little things sometimes to munch as I go along, just as a quick sort of sugar hit, in sort of small doses, just to sort of keep me going, lift morale. I just want to put on the record that I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really good at the moment. I slept really well last night, despite being next to the main high street in Shap. Slept brilliantly. I've resupplied in Shap at an excellent co-op that opens at 7 in the morning and closes at 10 o'clock at night. So if you're ever passing through Shap doing this walk, I really recommend that place. It's like an Aladdin's cave. Got loads and loads of goodies, so I've stocked up on some much needed items. Sorry, it's a train. And I went back to that shop this morning because I had a feeling they'd do some pastries at the very least for some breakfast, and they only had hot egg and sausage muffins. So I had one of those muffins, oh, delightful, and black Americano. I just got a bit of a spring in my step. Now, that quite possibly could change today, but I just want to put it on the record that I've started feeling really, really good. Come on, gonna make you a YouTube star. Hi, Ronnie.
He already is.
It's about 3:20 now and we're on about mile 15 and we've got roughly about another 5 miles to go, so call it a couple of hours walk. Hello all. I'm going to keep my voice down a little bit because I'm on quite a busy campsite. But yeah, I just wanted to check in. I've had a nice pizza and a Wainwright beer here on the campsite in their little restaurant area, which is quite luxurious for me. And I've also just been sorting out some injuries, so the finger is still giving me some problems, so I'm going to hopefully try and get that looked at tomorrow. And as I was walking into the campsite today, well, the last few miles of this afternoon's hiking, I've developed a really bad pain in my left shin, so taking ibuprofen for that as well, just to try and address that, and just need to rest it overnight. So yeah, that is about it. It's been a long day, but good mileage done, 20 miles, because it's been easier than the Lake District, but still the last bit was quite a grind and it was hard. So tomorrow we're going to Keld, which is the official or unofficial halfway point of the coast to coast, so looking forward to that. But it really is time to rest and to sleep. Night night. Okay, morning all. A bit of a late departure from Kirby Stephen this morning, but glad I did. I had a nice coffee and charged up my battery and my phone in the little kitchen at the campsite, and the showers were amazing. It was like the best hot shower I've had in the last 8 days. So do go to the Pennine View campsite if you get a chance, because just for the showers alone. And I've been down to the pharmacy, I've had the finger checked and they think it's okay. They said just keep taking the tablet. So stocked up on ibuprofen, been to Co-op, got a few supplies, a bit of extra breakfast, and we're on the trail, and I've got new company. So if I just swivel this round, and this is where I have to remember. So we've got Jack,
Stefan over there. Jack.
Stefan,
Yeah.
and then Jack.
Hello, it's the one.
And yeah, they've been staying in Kirby Stephen. They took a zero, as they call it, or a couple of two zeros, wasn't it? And they're feeling as right as rain. And we're going to walk up to, where is it? Nine Standards, and then on to Keld. Can't really pick this out on the GoPro, but it's steep, isn't it, guys?
It is.
This is kind of early morning. Can't get my words out. Early morning wake up.
Very calm, aren't they?
So it's just over 12 miles today. As long as I don't get lost, it'll take me up to Keld, which is 8 miles less than yesterday, which is in a way a nice feeling. But we do have the infamous bogs to cross, so I've got a few options up my sleeve what to do when I get there. I've got to go to the 9 standards first. Quite looking forward to that, and then decide which way to go. There's been so much rain, I think it's going to be pretty bad. So I've just discovered that we have a coast to coast expert in our midst. He's being a bit modest about it, but Jack's done it this is his 3rd time. He's done it twice before this, and based on the colossal amount of rain that we've had this past week and Jack's knowledge, we've decided he's feeling the pressure.
Yeah.
We've decided to take the December to April route, which skirts around the 9 standards. So I'm sorry I can't share that with you, or maybe I'll cheat and I'll put a little photo up. But we just looked at the map and it is the same distance. It's just that we're not walking over the 9 standards and through potentially terrible bogs. There's a bit more road walking, but we're in agreement, aren't we, chaps?
Yeah.
We'd rather hit the road than sink in the bogs. So we've done about 6 or 7 miles, come off the road now and heading back to rejoin the red route, which is the main C2C trail. Now I've avoided the bogs, and I reckon I'm about less than 2 hours from Keld, and I'm due to meet a friend in Keld today, the legendary trail hunter himself, Russ. He's been a really good friend and support the last year or 2 with my hiking. Anyway, he's in the area and he's going to meet me, which will be brilliant, and he may even have some things for me as well, which will be even more brilliant. Here we go, walking into Keld now, and day 7 is complete. I'm ready to stop. I want to give a special shout out to Ibuprofen that has done a sterling effort to get me through these last few miles. I'm pitched up. I'm at a nice but very remote campsite in Keld, in the Yorkshire Dales. Let me show you around. So nice to arrive dry and to have a dry tent to put up. It's not really wet from earlier this morning, and I've just opened up both sides. Just got a glorious evening. I want to allow a little bit of breeze to come through. And this thing I love about this tent, you can open up both sides of it, just that through breeze. And then just down there we've got the river, which I was at earlier today. Beautiful, beautiful idyllic river. So I've had my dinner, couscous with sardines, not bad for a cheap hiking meal, and I've had to eat it in a tent because I've just been under attack from midgy things that have just swooped in suddenly, and you might be able to see them, they're just everywhere. I forgot to mention, and I forgot to film, that Russ, my friend Russ, the trail hunter, came to Keld today, to my campsite, and it was the first time that we met. Been speaking a lot online, he's been giving me a lot of hiking advice, and we've just been sharing stories, and he kindly bought me some treats as well. So he bought me a mobile phone, waterproof case, and some food and some beers, and yeah, just really generous. Was some gas canisters as well. So thank you very much, Russ. Very much appreciated. Feeling the trail love, and I owe you one.
Yeah, so this is Ben. What are you doing, Ben?
I'm doing the coast to coast.
Why are you doing the coast to coast?
Because I'm a bit mad. No, so I'm doing it as a fundraiser for Pancreatic Cancer UK.
Yeah.
And it's one I've always wanted to do as well. So mile 90.
Mile 90. And how have you done on your fundraising?
£3,000.
He's reached his target. Absolute lad.
The link's still open though.
Yeah, link's still open.
Link's
Donate.
still open. We can go beyond.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'll put a donate link on this, so smash that button.
Oh yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Give us some pennies and some trail tokens.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, mate,
Thank you, mate.
Good luck.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
7 days on the trail done. 90 miles. And that was 103 miles to go. So tomorrow we are heading to Reeth, which is about 12 to 13 miles from here. I've had a hot shower, eaten, been attacked by midges, and I'm going to go to bed. Night.
Welcome to day 8 of the coast to coast. It's Sunday, the sun is shining, I'm in the Yorkshire Dales, and there's midges everywhere, these Yorkshire midges. I don't know if they're coming out on the camera here, but they're loving me this morning. I have put the smidge on, so I think that has reduced their nipping of me, which is quite good. They're still around though, they're still very much around. So I just met 2 German hikers who said that I'm about to enter Middle Earth, in their words, because we're going further into the Swaledale Valley, I believe, and I'm going to take the low route from Keld over to Reeth, on the recommendation from a couple of other people I spoke to as well. Meant to be beautiful, so I'm not taking the high route, I'm going to take the low. Slept quite well. It got quite cold last night. I was on a bit of a hill here in Yorkshire, so got a bit chilly, but slept quite well. Cannot wait to get over to Reeth. I'm actually going to go about a mile further than Reeth to a place called Grinton, because I've got a room in a guest house above a pub there booked, and I want to get there as soon as possible just to take advantage of facilities, sort stuff out, dry things off, and maybe get some laundry done, even if I have to do it in a sink. Anything's better than at the moment. I'm actually rocking the sun hoodie today because I got a little bit sunburnt on my neck yesterday, even though I put sun cream on. I still got a bit sunburnt on my neck. This sun hoodie is looking pretty grimy, but I figured sun protection was better than trying to look good. sheep invasion. Thank you, Gunnerside, and the little tea room I found. I had a nice coffee, tea cake, my own Snickers bar, and some ibuprofen. So I'm going to call that lunch. I was going to stop for lunch somewhere else, but actually I'm just going to call that lunch. And got to refill both water bottles, so it's really warmed up. So I downed nearly a litre of water whilst I was there, that I did have, and then I got everything filled up to the top, so I've got enough hopefully to keep me going, to get me over to Reeth. Quite a steep climb out of Gunnerside, so lovely tea room, but eat well because you'll need it for the climb. I've made it to my accommodation, so I'm at the Bridge Inn in Grinton, which is about a mile up the road from Reeth, which actually puts me in good stead for tomorrow because it means I'm a mile ahead than if I'd actually stopped in the main part of Reeth. The only disadvantage to that is they've just told me that they're not serving food here this evening because they're short-staffed, and normally they do every other day they do, but of course because I'm here it's the day they're short-staffed. However, there is a kettle here, and I have got some stuff that I can rehydrate and just sort of have here in the room, so I'm probably going to do that and then just use the pub just to go and have a bit of a beer and, you know, change of space from the room. But let me show you the room. So no camping for me tonight, no camping at all. We've got a lovely little room, and in the bathroom, it's a small bathroom admittedly, but we've not only got a shower, oh no, we got a bath as well. I think I might need to do that to soak these weary bones. I'll confirm on the screen, but I think we're at mile 103 now, and I've done about between 12 and 13 miles today. I've done most of it on my own. I haven't really walked with anyone today or bumped into anyone, which has been quite nice actually. I know, you know, it's nice to meet people. I know what I said earlier, but I've quite enjoyed having my own time today, and just soaking my feet in the river earlier was just heaven.
just the right thing, just ice cold river water running over my feet, because I hadn't actually aired my feet up to that point. Anyway, enough waffling. I am going to just get some gear unpacked, some stuff dried, some stuff charged, and I'm just gonna crash, to be honest, because I'm knackered. My left shin is really killing me still. I'm on my 3rd dose of ibuprofen today. I've decided I'm going to walk up to Richmond tomorrow. I'm going to look for some accommodation tonight in the Richmond area. I'm going to go to a pharmacist to get some advice. Might go online tonight, just get some thoughts on shin splint issues, because that's what it is. I mean, generally my body, I'm feeling pretty good. You know, my feet are good, my trail runners are doing great. I've got no blisters at the moment. Shoulders are good, you know, back is good. It's just this damn shin splint in my left leg. I've had a couple of pints downstairs in the pub, and I have had my dinner, which was my last Outdoor Gear Essentials real turn-out meal, which I really enjoyed. It was the kebab stew, which was very tasty. Really recommend that one. I will put a link to Outdoor Gear Essentials in the video description, so do check out Cole's store for not just meals but other camping equipment, essentials, items, things that are just quite useful really. Plan for tomorrow is we're going to head towards Richmond, and then we're going to walk a bit further beyond Richmond. It's about 12 miles in total, and there's a campsite down that way. And yeah, I'm just gonna hit the sack and make the most of not camping tonight. Night night all. Well, good morning and welcome to day 8. I'll correct myself on the screen again if I'm wrong, but I believe we're on day 8 of the Coast to Coast walk. Had an amazing stay at the Bridge Inn in Grinton, which is about a mile on from Reeth. Yeah, really nice. Slept well, bath, shower, cleaned everything, dried everything, charged everything. And then my breakfast this morning, I had, I'm sure you'll understand when I tell you this. So I had a bowl of Weetabix, a bowl of fruit, full English breakfast, 3 cups of coffee and a slice of toast and some ibuprofen. Figured I could do with the calories, and it might mean that I don't need to worry about lunch too much because I've loaded up on calories. Shin update, still giving me chip. It's really weird. I feel kind of imbalanced. I feel like the right side of my body, my right leg, is just like He-Man. It's just absolutely brilliant and can handle anything. And then my left side, because I've got this shin splint, it's just causing my left leg just to not operate particularly well, and it is making me limp a little bit. So I am getting thoughts about whether I should continue. I don't want to have those thoughts. Some people on social media have suggested I take a break, but the way I'm gonna do it, I'm not ignoring that advice, but I'm just gonna do a few miles at a time, a day at a time, and see how I feel, and where I can just rest as much as possible, stretch as much as possible when I can get my hands on ice, just to do ice treatment on it, which I did last night in the pub. I did 2 ice treatments on it, and also just to keep loading up on ibuprofen every few hours, because that does help. Just sort of ease the pain a bit, but it's just really frustrating me at the moment. For the reasons that I said, I think every other part of me feels good. I feel good in every respect. Back, shoulders, everything else is great.
So yeah, anyway, hoping that the first round of ibuprofen is going to kick in shortly, and we're heading towards Richmond, which doesn't look too far from Reeth, and then we're going to Brompton on the Swale, and there is a campsite there, and fellow hikers Claire and Martin are going to be there as well, so that'll be nice if I can catch up with them. Okay, so first challenge of the day, getting across the field that has the bull in. Although I think it's just mums and calves, but we'll give them space as always. I'll tell you something, it's pretty humid today. I was watching the news in the B&B earlier, and it's meant to be the hottest day of the year for the UK. So back home for me in the south, they're getting to get between 32 and 35 degrees. And up here, nowhere near as hot, but we're meant to be getting the rain. It's sort of there, but not arrived, you know. So there's this big system coming off the Atlantic and sweeping up over the northwest, and mainly going into Scotland, but we're meant to be getting scatterings of it here. And it's just sort of like humidity in the air, like waiting to happen but not happened yet. So that was St Edmund's Church in Marske, who have a plethora of refreshments and snacks and medication and all sorts of wonderful things for hikers. And they just have a card reader where you can make a donation to the church just to sort of continue what they do. And it was just really lovely. And the other thing, I just met a lovely group of American women who I think they're probably in their 60s, about 10 of them, and they all met on Facebook, and they had just decided in the States that they were going to walk the coast to coast, and they didn't know each other before, and they've just come to England and just started walking it, which I just think is amazing. About 2 o'clock, just coming into Richmond, and my leg's not great. It's you know, earlier I was saying how the right leg just feels completely different to the left leg. It's even more different. It's just really stiff. My lower left leg, it's almost sort of seized up, if that makes sense. So it feels like it's just kind of gone beyond a shin splint. I'm going to get into town. I'm going to go to Boots, talk to a pharmacist, and I'm just being strict with myself, because if I keep pushing myself, it could get worse. I think there's already an issue with the tendons, just from the research that I've been doing online. So I think the likelihood is I'm going to have to get the credit card out, book in somewhere, and take a day off tomorrow, and just give the leg a day off walking, because it's been walking continuously, hasn't it, for the last 110 miles from St Bees, and it clearly needs a break. Right leg's all right. Maybe I should send the right leg off. Left leg can stay, but yeah, I feeling a bit frustrated, if I'm honest with you. Just feeling really like trying hard to enjoy the walk today, trying hard to make the most of it, and trying hard to focus all my energy into the parts of my body that are working, and not keep thinking and dwelling on the left leg and ankle. But it's really hard. It's really hard to ignore. So that's it. That's the update. I'm in Richmond now, and I've booked myself into a hotel for 2 nights. My leg isn't in a good way. I've been getting really bad shooting pains in my ankle, like just agonising pains that are just stopping me dead in the street. People looking at me as I hobble around Richmond. I went to the pharmacist. He says I'm doing all the right things and I just basically should just rest. So that's what I'm going to do. It's 4 o'clock now on day 9. I've just been to the supermarket, just filled up a bag of stuff and brought it to the room, so I don't even have to go downstairs, even if I was able downstairs to the pub, so I can just munch in the room here and just literally just sit and with ice. Landlady's been brilliant. She's just going to keep providing ice for me, and I've got my foot elevated with ice packs on it, and I've got a TV and I've got crisps and chocolate and stuff. And that's the plan. So this coast to coast is it has many twists and turns, literally and metaphorically. So yeah, I can't do anything about it. Earlier I just felt like screaming. I was just so fed up, but you know, this is what happens sometimes. You know, I remember Ash Outdoors when he did his coast to coast and he had real issues with his feet and had lots of swelling, and I think he took at least a day off. And then I met 2 guys yesterday, and they'd taken 2 days off because of food poisoning. So, you know, it's 111 miles I've walked. So, you know. Anyway, sorry, there's that. I just want to give you that update. There's not much else to say really, and I'm gonna rest, and then I'll let you know how I get on. I have got the number for a sports massage therapist person around the corner here, but I think I just need to rest and not walk, because basically this leg that is done in has just been going for 9 days every day from St Bees for 111 miles, and it clearly needs a break. No pun intended. Oh. Welcome, one and all, to day 10 of the Coast to Coast. Day 10. I had an excellent 0 day yesterday, or day off, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Didn't do any hiking, didn't do any filming, just stayed in Richmond, mainly in my hotel. Went to a couple of nearby streets, but mainly just rested my leg. Lots of massage, lots of ice and rest and stretches all day long. And it is better. It's better than what it was than when I arrived here, but it's not perfect by any means. So I do need to sort of keep an eye on it. I do need to manage it. I feel a little bit more switched on now in terms of stretches and what I'm doing to kind of keep those going when I take breaks. So I just need to take it easy. So the plan is today it's 11 miles in the direction of Danby Wisk. The weather is forecast to be dry and sunny, so that is good. That's good news. So I'm feeling better in myself, as you can probably tell. I'm just feeling a bit better mentally as well as physically. I was not in a good place when I came into Richmond the other day, but feeling much better now. So day 10, Danby Wisk, off we go. Right, we are about 5.5 miles in, which is about half of my planned distance today, bearing in mind the leg. And talking of the leg, it hasn't been too bad. It was a bit twingy to start with, and then it kind of warmed up and sort of got into a bit of a rhythm and back into hiking, and it's hasn't been bad up to this point. So I'm just kind of listening to it, keeping an eye on it, not going crazy, but it's been a lovely walk this morning, just coming out of Richmond. Those beautiful sunlit woodlands, just nice and cool, and lovely smells, and we're back by the River Swale as well, which I enjoyed a few days ago. Haven't really left it really, it's always sort of been there as I've been sort of in this part of the Yorkshire Dales. It's lovely, it's such a lovely river. So I am at St Mary's Church in Bolton-on-the-Swale, and it's another example of just kindness towards hikers. They've got refreshments in a fridge, tea and coffee, kettle, toilet. It's all open, all free to use. I think there's an honesty box somewhere as well, but it's just really nice when you come across places like this. Let's have a look and see what we've got. Oh, that's a nice guy. Oh, we've got a Sprite down there. Can I have a Sprite? It's quite a lot of road walking at the moment. Been on the road for about 2 miles now, and it's getting quite warm, so it's a little bit laborious, especially on the feet and the foot that I'm trying to look after. Yeah, that's all right. It's going to be, yeah, I think it's about 3.5 miles till Danby Wisk. But I'm hoping the road finishes before then and we get a bit of track. It's just kind of long like this, really. It's long. I mean, sometimes you get a bit of grass verge like that, but most of the time you're just on a tarmac. Well, I've just experienced trail magic that has restored my faith in humanity. So my water supply is running pretty low, was running pretty low, and I was thinking I've got to find a farm or some dwelling somewhere where I can knock on the door and ask for some water. And I came around the corner and there was this motorhome, I think they were called Robert and Judith, and they saw me and immediately they said, "Are you all right for stuff?" And are you all right for things? And I immediately knew that they got it, and I went, "Couldn't have some water, could I please?" And they went, "Yeah." Dived in, refilled all my water bottles, had a drink as well. They gave me some snacks. We had a nice chat, and they're driving a motorhome from the Outer Hebrides down to where they live in Nottingham. So that was just brilliant. Oh, I love stuff like that. Just yeah, I don't know what else to say really, but trail magic. Yeah, this is quite a hard stretch in the Yorkshire part of the coast to coast. It's the run up to Danby Wisk, and so I think someone had mentioned about this, is about the roads. There are a lot of road walking. It's about 6 miles of road walking. Then if you throw in a bit of heat, it's a bit testing, if I'm honest. It's a bit testing. It kind of reminds me a bit of my hike last year on the Peddars Way in Norfolk, where it's really flat, loads of roads, really hot, bit monotonous. It's got real Peddars Way vibes, this part of the sea to sea. Hot horses. Look at them.
I can't see much shade. Hello, you come to say hello? I'm settled in to my campsite, which I have to say is probably the best campsite I've stayed in on the whole trail so far. It is called Church Holm Campsite. The owners have just put so much work into it. I'll do some little shots so you can see what I'm talking about, but it's just the quality of the pitches. Everything's flat, clean, it's not too crowded. They've got an amazing kind of camp kitchen enclosed area with a large table and fridge and washing machines and free tea and coffee and kettles, and they've got like a hiker's bin area where you can just help yourself to stuff that people have just bin that they don't want to carry anymore. The showers are probably better than my own shower at home. Yeah, it's just and also they came over to my tent. They weren't there when I arrived. They left a little slip of paper for me, and then they came over and introduced themselves to me. They've even sorted me out with an ice pack for my dodgy leg, because they know I had these injuries. So massive shout out to Church Holm Campsite, and it's just what you need. It's just what you need after a long day of hiking. It's coming up to bedtime, and I've had quite a nice evening actually in this rather lovely campsite. So I've just been in the little kitchen building, taking advantage of free tea, coffee and hot chocolate, and also they got one of those hikers boxes where people drop things off that they don't want anymore. So I managed to pick up a decathlon dehydrated meal that was unwanted, so I got that. And there were potatoes as well, jacket potatoes. So I made a jacket potato in the microwave in the kitchen, and I had some super noodles that I had left over from my stay in Richmond. So an interesting dinner, but I'm full up. That's the main thing. I had some really nice chats with people tonight. Met some nice people on the campsite. But I'm pretty tired, so I'm gonna get some sleep. So I shall see you tomorrow. Night night. Well, good morning, adventurers. Day 11 of the coast to coast walk. Feeling quite good, feeling quite positive today. Slept well. Lovely campsite. I think I've said that quite a bit. It really is a good campsite. Just a nice place to wake up in. Coffee this morning in their little kitchen. Now, at the moment, I'm changing what I'm doing quite a lot. I'm adapting it. Got a based on. We're just gonna wait for this car to go by. Based on how I'm feeling, the leg, etc. And I was due to go to Ingleby Arncliffe because there was a campsite up there, but when I looked at the map last night, it's nearer than I realised. It wasn't 10 miles, it's about 6 to 7 miles, and I think I can go a little bit further today. I'm not going to push my luck, but I am going to go on a bit further. And there is a place called Lordstone's Country Park that also does camping for hikers as well, and I'm meant to be there tomorrow night, but I'm going to see if I can get in there tonight. So it's 8 o'clock now, so I'll give it an hour, see if I can get some phone signal, phone ahead, and see if they can get me in tonight. And that's about 12 miles from here, and that'll just get me a little bit further along the trail. And if I can get up there, then that will take me up to mile 139, something like that. So just edges me a little bit nearer, and I'm feeling okay. I'm going to keep being careful, monitoring it. Put ice on the leg this morning, ice on it last night,
exercises, ibuprofen, doing everything really. So I've refueled at the service station, which was quite nice. And then I've just seen an interesting sign above a cafe on the way out of Ingleby Cross. And the reason it's interesting is because the sign is saying, and I'll show you, that from here it's 140 miles to St Bees, and to Robin Hood's Bay it's 50 miles. And that's a bit different to my Far Out app guide, which I've been using on my phone the whole time, which suggests that I've done less than that and I've got further to go, and also different to the coast to coast, the official coast to coast A to Z handbook, adventure series handbook, that I also have as well. So it can get a bit confusing when you look at signs and you're looking at your books or your phone or whatever, because the distances can be a little bit conflicted. But if I go by the sign that is right here now, the physical sign, I've only got 50 more miles until I get to Robin Hood's Bay, which feels closer than I thought. Well, this is a sight for sore eyes. The North Yorkshire moors in all their beauty. It really is something. It just makes you realise how beautiful this trail really is. The contrast that you get in the terrain from the moment you leave St Bees to here and beyond. It's incredible, it really is. It just makes you realise why people do this and why a lot of international hikers come here. They just, you know, I've seen so many international hikers, Americans, Germans, all sorts. They want to be here, amongst this. It's stunning. I spoke a bit too soon. I think I jinxed it. As soon as I said all those things, this rain just swept in. It's coming up to 5:30. I'm really tired. I've gone on further than I planned. I was just going to do 10 miles today because of the leg, but I've done about 16 or 17 nearly. This moor just goes on forever. I just feel like I want it to end. I'm really ready to stop. My campsite is on the other side of the hill here, so I've got to keep going, and then I think there's a bit of a descent. It's less than a mile now. Okay, we're going to push on.
So it's 8:30. I'm finally lying down. It's been a long day. It's been a tough one. So I intended only to do about 10 miles because of the leg injury thing. And I don't know, just thought, I'll go a bit further. And it started off, it was just flat for miles and miles, just easy it was. From Danby Wisk, it was just loads of just really nice fields and farmland, and just I was thinking, wow, this is going to be a good day. And then I started to get into some elevation. I can't remember where it was now. I think it was after Ingleby Arncliffe, somewhere like that. And there was just climbed up into this forest just before the moors kind of started. And then the moors, I kind of went onto the moors, and they came down, and then I went back up. And then when I went back up the second time, it just went on and on forever. It was just never ending. I didn't think I was ever going to get to this campsite. It kept saying on my phone it was 1.3 miles to go, and then a weather system came in, and we had a load of rain come in on the moors. But that last mile today, or even the last 2 miles, was just such a grind. It was so hard. Anyway, I got to my campsite, and it's called Lordstones. Yeah, Lordstones Country Park. And it's not bad. I've used the showers. It's becoming my routine now. As soon as I get to these campsites, I use their hot showers, and just to make myself feel human. Can't do that if you're wild camping. Just saying. And yeah, there's kind of like a glamping side to the campsite, where there's all like sort of fancy sort of pod hut things, and then there's this woodland retreat, which I'm in, which is just this clearing amongst these pine trees, and I'm the only one here, which is really nice. And it's kind of gated as well, so there's a gate that just kind of shuts me off from the rest of all the families and the people that are being a bit noisy at the moment. So yeah. But bearing in mind how tired I am, I could sleep through anything. This is just one of those moments where I could probably fall asleep, but actually should boil some water up and make up something that looks like a meal. So that's it. I'm not going to really do much more filming today. I'll just eat and sleep, and I'll see you tomorrow. Oh yeah, we're on mile 143, and I don't know where I'm going to go tomorrow. I need to work it out. I'll tell you in the morning. All right, that's it. Night. Bye.
Oh, morning all. Rough night, really rough nights. It was pretty cold, but then about 2 o'clock I started feeling really queasy, and I had to get out of my tent quick, and I was basically vomiting in the woods behind my tent. I was feeling so rough. So I think it was something to do with that meal that I had, possibly. It was a Decathlon tracking pouch I got out of a hiker's box, and it looked okay. I think the dates were okay on it, but and I'm still feeling rough now. I'm better, but I'm not good. And it's the latest I'm leaving a campsite, so it's about 10 o'clock, because it just was taking me a long time to sort myself out, get ready, and also I had to wait for the office to open to pay them for my pitch, because I arrived late yesterday, so I guess I would have been leaving late anyway. So day 12 of the coast to coast. And 12 miles today, we're heading to Blakely Ridge, and there is a pub there called the Lion, and they let you camp in the garden for £3. And my money's running low, so that sounds like a good idea to me. Alright, so I've done about 2 miles, 2 very slow miles. I'm actually on the Cleveland Way. I've been on the Cleveland Way for the 2nd day now because it's a trail that shares it with the coast to coast. Yes, it has been a bit slow, but I've got company. So just behind, I can't see, it's so sunny. Oh, there he is. So that is David from North Carolina. You might be able to pick him out. There he is. And we met yesterday, and we keep bumping into each other. And he's very kindly walking with me at the moment, which is good because I was feeling a bit sluggish, down on my luck. Anyway, so where are we? We're approaching Wainstones on the Cleveland Way stretch of the coast to coast. And the other good news is, and I think we're in agreement, David and I, is that we can see the sea. We can actually see the North Sea from here, which is incredible really, and it just makes you realise how close the end is. I mean, it's got to be under 40 miles now, I think, if not 38, 40 miles, so that's quite exciting. David, the American hiker I met, he has parted ways. He's gone off to do the Cleveland Way now because it stops, and we're carrying on. But I've got new company, and just in front of me there's Dave and Ellen just there. Give us a wave.
Hello.
Give us a wave, Dave. And we bumped into each other in Danby Whisk a couple of days ago. They're also from London, so there's been lots to talk about. And it's been really nice just doing the last few miles with them, and it's been quite good for me for my pace, because at the start of the day I had the energy of a slug, but it seems to be changing. Haven't eaten a lot, but it seems to be changing, and they kindly donated a little bit of water my way, because the thing about the moors, it's quite dry. There's just not really any water sources that we've come across. Anyway, we've got just over 4 miles until we get to our accommodation, and we're all going to the same place, which is the Lion pub in Blakely Ridge. So I'm all pitched up in a field next to the Lion Inn, which is in a place called Blakely Ridge on the North Yorkshire Moors. In fact, it's the highest point on the North Yorkshire Moors, or the highest pub on the North Yorkshire Moors. That's it. Sorry, it's been a really long day, but a good day, and it ended positively after a pretty rough start. I felt not good at the beginning of today, and I really was questioning how far I was going to get. But trail magic kicked in, met some lovely people, and here I am, 5 p.m. I arrived. It's about 8 p.m. now. Tent's all set up, as you can see, and I think I'm just going to take advantage of their showers in the pub, and I'm going to go to sleep and just totally crash. No more filming, just crash. And tomorrow is the penultimate day of the coast to coast, if I get myself into gear early. All right, that's it. Night night. Well, good morning all. It's potentially the penultimate day to the coast to coast, so that makes it day 13, and it's cold. This is the coldest day on the coast to coast, but I'm quite high up on the Yorkshire moors. It's desolate, open, and there's a lot of cold air to go around. So last night was interesting in the tent. Coldest night so far, had every layer on, properly mummified myself in my mummy sleeping bag. I had my down jacket around my feet. I had woolly hat on, neck ruff, everything. So properly went for it last night. Decided to wake up early. Had a porridge bar, couple of ibuprofen, and I'm on the road, literally on the road. So this first bit of hiking today, I'm informed, is road based across the moors, and we're aiming to get to a little place called Littlebeck, and there's a farm down there that apparently lets people camp and is a bit of a B&B as well. So I've sent them an email last night, and Littlebeck is meant to be 12 miles away, something like that. And then after that, Robin Hood's Bay is not far, probably could be half a day's walking tomorrow, potentially, which is exciting. Robin Hood's Bay. Nearly over, can't believe it. Can't believe it. We are about 1.5 miles outside of Glaisdale, next town, village. Hoping to get a coffee. It's just coming up to mid-morning, which is quite nice. I feel like I've put a few miles under my belt at the start of the day, and yeah, just looking forward to a bit of a coffee and thinking about where we go from there. It is simply a stunning day. It started off very chilly, and the layers have gradually been peeled off. Now I've got my Pancreatic Cancer UK t-shirt on, and yeah, it's beautiful, sunny moorland. Couldn't get much better. And I can see in the distance, again, I can see the North Sea teasing me that the end is near. I've just passed a hiker coming the other way. He's doing east to west, coast to coast, and he's just informed me about a very steep hill after Gromont, around that area. But I said to him, bring it on, bring it on. I feel like I've had a certain amount of hill training and preparation. Mountains, moors.
But in the vet though, the guy I was walking with, sometimes I was like, can you borrow your stuff? You know, like £5 in.
So we're just coming into Gromont now, passed through Glaisdale, and I was rewarded with a coffee. So there was this kind of village hall that had been converted into a cafe just on Saturdays and Sundays, and it's the weekend, so good timing. And had cakes and sandwiches, and it was just really nice. And I had my Pancreatic Cancer UK t-shirt on, and a very kind lady came up and gave me a donation and shared with me that she'd lost someone in her family to the disease, and she described getting goosebumps when she saw the t-shirt come into the village hall. So it was a real moment. And yeah, I didn't get her name, but I just really appreciated that conversation and her giving me a cash donation in the moment. So yeah, moving into Gromont now, and all the residents keep talking about this hill that has got to be climbed, and it's meant to be a really high hill, and they keep getting all these warnings about it from everyone. So I don't know whether to believe them or not, especially after managing to get through the Lake District. Okay, I take it all back, residents who warned me about the hill coming out of Gromont. That was a tough hill. I think I was expecting a grassy, craggy hill, but it was just a complete tarmac hill with a gradient of 33%, and it just went on and on. But it's flattened out now, and we're out back on the moors again. A bit more moorland. I thought we'd finished the moors, but it seems we've got a bit more to do. And I think we're about 2.5 miles from Littlebeck, which is where I need to get to, because there's a farm down there that takes tents for £5 apparently, which is quite handy because my cash supply is running very low. But at least we're on the flat again, and we'll get down there, and then I think I'm just going to stop there today and get the tent up early and just chill and relax. Last night was a bit of a later pitch, so if I can get an early pitch, means I can just put my feet up and just take it easy, and then look forward to tomorrow. Last day tomorrow. Right, we are so close now. We are so close. Check this out. Let me keep still. That is the biggest view of the sea I've seen in the last few miles. That is the North Sea. Wow. So we've got 2 miles. These are rough calculations, but yeah, 2 miles to Littlebeck, which is where, fingers crossed, I can stay and camp tonight. And I think that will take me to about roughly a mile 171, roughly. And according to the Far Out app, It's then about another 11 miles tomorrow to Robin Hood's Bay. I can finally say it. I can finally say that word, Robin Hood's Bay. Wow. Good morning. It is day 14 and the final day of my coast to coast adventure. And it's a strange old one. I didn't actually sleep brilliantly last night. I kept thinking about today, not in a, you know, worrying way, but just sort of just thinking about it, you know. And it's just a bit strange, kind of, you know, packing up and doing all those things for the last time. It's just been so much part of my life for the last 2 weeks. You know, this has been in this bubble of hiking and challenges and camping and doing the same sort of routine at the start and the end of every day. So it's odd. I have kind of weird feelings. There's a bit of sadness that it's coming to an end, but there's also excitement, as you would imagine, knowing I'm just so close to the finish line now. So close. And I tell you the bit I'm probably really looking forward to is walking along the coast, along the cliffs again, just before I get down into Robin Hood's Bay. I want to soak up that moment, seeing the sea again. I've booked myself into a B&B hotel thing tonight in Robin Hood's Bay. Felt I've earned it. Means I can get sorted, get clean, properly clean, before I sit amongst the public on a train for 3 hours back to London. I didn't feel that they really deserved to be sitting next to a smelly hiker. All right, come on, let's do it. Robin Hood's Bay. Hello. Hello.
They're friendly, they're just noisy.
You know, I've just decided that I'm just going to enjoy this morning, and it'll take however long it takes. It's nice knowing I haven't got to race to a campsite. haven't got to put the tent up. And I'm just going to enjoy all the moments, like that little cave back there, that little rock structure. Need to look that up when I get home. It was called the Hermitage. I must give a shout out actually to Julie at Intake Farm, where I stayed last night, because she wasn't really expecting anyone. And I just rocked up, and she got ice packs out for my leg, just to kind of help me with my leg muscle management. So that was really kind of her, really looked after me and a couple of other campers actually. So Intake Farm, good welcome, nice and flat, nice and peaceful, just like being in a really nice garden of someone's house. So if you're thinking about it, where to stay, Intake Farm. I'll tell you something, this woodland walk after you leave Littlebeck is just enchanting. It is absolutely beautiful. It's like something out of a fairy tale. There's waterfalls and little rocky streams, amazing paths, trees, great sunlight kind of coming through. It really is. Oh, I can't describe it. All right, so we are fast approaching the end of this hike. I've got behind me Scott. Where is he?
I'm here.
There he is. And we bumped into each other up on the moors, didn't we?
We did.
Quite a few miles back, and then we sort of been bumping into each other again. So it's been quite good walking with Scott and having a good old chat. And he's going in the same direction. He's doing coast to coast as well. And we're both just sort of chewing the fat really, and just kind of soaking it in, and just trying to, can't quite believe how far we've come.
We can't, can we? No.
It's just crazy when you think about it. But the weather's still good for the moment. It's dry, bit of a breeze, but it's okay. I couldn't get the drone up, which was a bit frustrating. But so we can see Whitby, and we're just heading down literally to the kind of the actual edge to the coast, and then we're going to walk along the coast, and then we should get to Robin Hood's Bay pretty soon, maybe in an hour or two. I think it's not far now. Two and a half miles now to Robin Hood's Bay. Kind of going around the houses a little bit, but we're getting there, we're making progress, and I think, to be frank, we're both looking forward to just getting these packs off and stopping, aren't we? Absolutely. It's time to stop. So we're finally at the North Sea, and it is a view and a half. It is incredible. Let me just show you. It's just so surreal. It's both Scott and I can't quite comprehend it really. But we're nearly there. We're probably a mile and a half away now. We just need to walk along the coast, but we get to take in this gorgeous sea view on a really nice sunny day. Nearly there. Okay, so we are in sight of Robin Hood's Bay. There it is. I think we're probably half a mile from it, estimate, half a mile. But if I'm going to be honest, it's been the longest last mile. There's been this tradition in the last few days, hasn't there, Scott, of like
absolutely
the last couple of miles are always the killer, but today especially, I think it's because we know it's the end. but the fact that we can see Robin Hood's Bay is it's sweet. It's a sweet feeling. Right, I think we need to go and do this. Okay, Scott's just got ahead. I'm taking 5 minutes. Nearly down in the town, just around the corner, really, and we're nearly there. And I just thought I'd share a few final reflections, final thoughts, and it has been the most incredible journey. It has been epic, absolutely epic. I remember a couple of days ago when I was high up on the North Yorkshire moors, and I looked back at how far I'd come and looked all the way in the direction of the west coast, and it was and just to think that I'd come all that distance, it was quite overwhelming. And then to turn around and then see the North Sea on the horizon of where I was about to head, and it's been immense. It's been so challenging, but it's been so incredible. I don't really have any other words. There's been moments of, I a bit similar to when I did the South Downs Way last year. Actually, no, this is very different. But there has been moments of, can I carry on? Why am I doing this? There's been some very low days, days where I had an injury, I've been feeling unwell, and then having to go and hike like huge ascents. But I did it and I got through it, and I'm just so pleased. So there are too many people to thank. There are just far too many people to thank. But you know who you are, and thank you so much for all your support. Those people that have advised me, supported me, have given money to Pancreatic Cancer UK, which this is what it's all about, really. It's raising money for Pancreatic Cancer UK. And when I checked this morning, it was around £3,270, which is amazing. It's beyond anything I thought of when I first started this project. You can still donate. I will keep it open. So thank you for all the support, and yeah, I think we just need to finish this, don't we? Let's go down into Robin Hood's Bay and let's get to the finish line. Quite busy, tourist season. Probably got about 100 metres to go. This feels so surreal. It really does. So you'll remember at the start of this adventure back in St Bees, I picked up 2 stones. I mean, it is tradition that you're meant to pick up a pebble and carry it from the Irish Sea to the North Sea, and I picked up 2. And one is for my dad and the other one is for Amanda. This is for them, this is in memory of them. And then of course the other tradition is to dip your feet in. Now the tide's in and it's pretty slippery, so I'm going to just step in and step out, but at least I can say I've done it. And that's it. It's done. Over. If you've made it this far following my mad-capped adventure, then thanks for watching, thanks for sticking with it, and see you on the next one.